Our way out, little star, Grandpa Josiah said, his voice filled with a mixture of relief and sorrow. He turned to face her, his eyes, usually so gentle, now filled with a profound gravity. Grandma Rosalina stood beside him, her hand resting on his arm, her gaze fixed on Tiania. "Tiania," Rosalina began, her voice soft but firm. "There is so much we have kept from you, for your safety, for our survival. But now, there is no more time for secrets." Josiah knelt before her, taking both her hands in his. "You are not Sarkian, Tiania. Not entirely. You are a Crystalian, the last true princess of Crystalia, in fact. And we are Rosalina and Josiah, your grandparents, yes, but also the last remaining members of the Royal Council of Crystalia, your protectors." Tiania's mind reeled. Princess? Crystalian? It was too much. Her head spun. The mythical beings from the Circadian propaganda, the ancient stories, they were real. And she was one of them. The images on the screen, the strange language, the powers, it was all true. Her entire life, a carefully constructed illusion, crumbled around her. "Crystalia was our home," Grandma Rosalina continued, her voice heavy with grief. "A world of light and harmony. 20 years ago, the Circadians, driven by greed and fear of our power, attacked. They destroyed everything. We barely escaped, carrying you, a tiny infant, through the ruins. We found refuge here, on Shardis, hiding in plain sight, hoping to keep you safe, to let you live a normal life. But they found us," Grandpa Josiah finished, his jaw clenched. "They always do. We are the last of our kind, little star, the last hope." He gestured towards the shimmering portal. "This is a jump gate, a remnant of our ancient technology. It will take us away from here, to a place where we can be safe, for now." Before Tiania could fully process the monumental revelation, before she could ask the 1,000 questions swirling in her mind, a sudden, piercing alarm blared through the cargo bay. Footsteps echoed from outside, growing louder, closer. "They're here!" Grandma Rosalina cried, her eyes wide with fear. "We have to go now." Josiah scooped Tiania into his arms. "Hold on tight, little star," he commanded. He and Rosalina exchanged a look, a silent, desperate communication. Then, with a surge of energy that made the air crackle, they propelled themselves towards the shimmering vortex. Tiania screamed, not just from fear, but from the sheer overwhelming sensation of being pulled apart and reassembled, of light and sound and color rushing past her in an impossible blur. Then, just as suddenly, it stopped. They stood on a solid metallic floor. The air was cool and clean, smelling faintly of ozone and something else. Something ancient and powerful. Tiania blinked, her eyes adjusting. They were in a vast, circular chamber, bathed in a soft, ethereal glow that seemed to emanate from the walls themselves. The chamber was filled with intricate, glowing consoles and shimmering data streams that pulsed with a gentle rhythm. It was unlike any ship she had ever seen, more like a living organism than a machine. "Welcome, Princess Tiania." A voice resonated through the chamber. It was deep, melodious, and seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. It was not a human voice, nor a Sarkian, nor even the strange, liquid tongue of her grandparents. It was the voice of the ship itself. "I am the heart of Ethel, the last sentient vessel of Crystalia. I have awaited your return." Tiania gasped, pulling away from Grandpa Josiah, her eyes wide with a mixture of terror and wonder. "A sentient ship?" It spoke. Her grandparents smiled, a genuine, relieved smile that reached their eyes for the first time in what felt like forever. "She is our companion, little star," Grandma Rosalina explained, her voice filled with reverence. "Our last hope. My primary directive," the ship's voice continued, "is to safeguard the royal line and to seek out any surviving Crystalian enclaves. My long-range scanners have detected faint energy signatures, dormant but present, across the galaxy. I know where to go. Our journey begins now. Through the ship's panoramic viewport, Tiania saw Shardis, a distant, burning ember against the black velvet of space. It was shrinking, becoming just another star in the endless cosmic tapestry. A profound sadness washed over her again, a wave of grief for her lost home, her lost friends, her lost life. But then, as the ship surged forward, leaving the Geminara system behind, a new feeling began to stir within her, a flicker of hope, a spark of purpose. She looked at her grandparents, their faces now calm, their secrets finally unveiled. They were no longer just Rosalina and Josiah, her loving but mysterious guardians. They were royal protectors, the last vestiges of a magnificent civilization, and she, Tiania, was their princess, the last shard of starlight, carrying the weight and the promise of a lost world. The journey ahead was unknown, fraught with danger, but for the first time, Tiania felt a strange sense of belonging, a connection to something ancient and powerful. She was no longer just a scared girl running from destruction. She was a princess on a quest, and the stars, once just distant lights, now beckoned with the promise of a new destiny.